we done been through this a couple times. People selling their masters. Everybody on one end is own your own masters. Now we just see all the OGs selling their masters. But this deal right here,
the game has changed.
The game has changed. But this deal here makes a little more sense. I see Irv Gotti got rid of a portion of his, and this
sold.
Got
rid of just make it seem like you threw it in the trash.
Thank you, brother. And I believe the company is called 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗧. If I didn't pronounce that right, I'm sorry. I looked up their website here. All it has is the headline: uses tech to preserve and grow artists' intellectual property and legacy. That's all they have, and then they have a whole bunch of links to Facebook, IG, etc. But Irv Gotti got $100 million, and he got a $200 million line of credit.
Got a stipend.
Yeah. $200 million line of credit to go with it to use for his other ventures. Like he has the Tale series that he does about the hip hop records and bringing those to life.
Those are pretty good. He hasn't done one of those in a long time.
Yeah, but
the ones I saw were fire to his credit. So it's a line of credit for him to produce, create, and own his own TV projects in the future. So this is the first time I saw one that had a complete breakdown. Two questions. One, sounds like a dope idea. I'll see what you guys think if you think it's a dope idea. And two, why is this company doing this? Because people aren't stupid when they make investments. There has to be something I feel like that's being missed, because they're not just out here randomly copping masters. There's something that I still can't figure out. Maybe y'all can.
I still don't get what's going on, to be honest with you. I mean, we've had the conversation about
it. That's why I want to know. Is maybe y'all might have a different take after hearing this, because this is a good deal to me on Irv Gotti's part. $100 million in the bank, and then I get 200 as a what you say loan
stipend,
as a stipend to
line of credit stipend.
Yeah,
it is
to be able to continue my own projects and I own them. That's a good deal.
The new ones. The new projects? He owns the new projects?
Yes, it says it's a line of credit for him to produce, create, and own his own TV projects in the future.
But why wouldn't he be able to own anything he does in the future, even if he's selling what he's made in the past?
That's the part I don't understand, because there's something that I'm missing here. The deal sounds fire, but why is this company going out snatching up, all these masters?
You know
that's
the
the
answer,
problem.
right?
Huh?
You know the answer.
I know what you're going to say.
Capitalism.
I know what you're going to say. Jay Moore, you said you may have cracked the code. What do you think?
I wouldn't say crack the code, but I just kind of can see from a certain perspective. Okay,
and I'm asking from the company's perspective.
Because okay, here I am. I'm not a creative, but I do know, and I have certain relationships as far as marketing, as far as getting placements. Being able to capitalize on having access to certain parts of pop culture. Okay. And so what I can do is I can pay you this lump sum, give you, and we've seen this with Justin Timberlake, and Drake sold part of his catalog, and where it becomes mutually beneficial is like, okay, I know how to create more money, not only for myself, but for you, the rights holder.
Right.
And then at the same time, if I'm the rights holder, I don't want to. Irv Gotti's not into making records anymore.
Right.
He's into creating television shows. He's into creating a narrative, and I need capital to be able to do those things and be able to own them going forward. So I see it as, if you have that mindset, it's a mutually beneficial thing for you to do. Now, if you're just somebody who's like, yeah, I'm just selling my masters, I don't quite get that, because I know Lil Wayne did that. And I'm not sure if he just wanted the money.
A lot of people, it seemed like it.
This is the first time I saw something that looks different from what we've previously.
When I see Irv's deal, I feel like, okay, yes, I'm selling my portion of my rights to this particular part of pop culture.
Right.
Okay. And these people can help me not only place it and make money and perhaps create deals from, the intellectual property that I have created, but then they can give me money up front that is not recoupable, that I just get to create more art going forward, that I'd be able to create something that maybe down the line I can sell again, because now I'm making these TV shows. Now I'm creating these movies. Now I'm getting things that I can stream.
Let me show.
So I'm just saying that, like, this is the first deal where I've heard, okay, this makes perfect sense to me.
It makes sense on his end, but I think the problem is, or where I'm lost in the sauce essentially, is the person or the group of people that are buying up all these masters.
That's what I can't figure out.
Like no, because they're the ones who have the relationships and the wherewithal to create placements, to figure out how to actually leverage these catalogs into more money. That maybe Irv Gotti, okay, yes, I have the rights to something, but okay, it pays me whatever the publishing is or whatever, I don't know the specifics of his particular deal that he had with Def Jam or whatever.
So you think this company can make those masters
Where are they
work?
getting all this money from to buy all these masters?
That's
Hedge
another
funds.
question.
Man.
Bro, that's
these are people. I'm telling you, it all goes back to capitalism. Hedge funds.
Really
these are people that have
billionaires.
These are people that have a lot of money that have nothing to do with actually creating content, and they want to get into that game, and so this is their way into the game.
Terry asking the questions I want to know.
My thing is, even if I had that, if I own this particular catalog of all these hits,
right,
I might sell a percentage of it.
Yeah.
But I would still want to hold on to some of it for some reason. Me personally, because that's part of me.
True.
I feel like I've sold all of me that I've done to you, essentially just to get a big lump sum, versus I could negotiate, maybe I keep 25%.
That was what I was going to say. Are we 100% sure that these people that are selling their catalogs, their masters, that's
what they're saying. Like they've liquidated it,
like
100%. Yeah, and I don't understand, like, because they can use those same resources to hire somebody to commercialize their music. Because if they're not that tied to it, to where you just want to sell it all off all of a sudden, why not go ahead and make some more money off of it? That's where I'm kind of lost at.
Well, this is what and like I said, I could have it wrong, if somebody, in the chat, or
maybe I need more research.
Send it to your cousin or whatever who might know Irv Gotti. But if I partner with this person and I sell them a portion of my intellectual property, and then they're able to say I'm able to maximize it at a rate of 25%, but they have a plan in place to where they could maximize it at a rate of 125%, then I'm able to still make money off of my intellectual property, and then give a certain amount of money up front to create my own art. Now I'm in the TV, now I'm in the movies. I can create that and own 100% of that. Yeah. Like the other ones, I just felt like were cash grabs, and I could be wrong. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not trying. I don't begrudge anybody, because if you can just go, if you feel like, okay, I'm done with this music thing, or I want to do something else.
I still want to own at least some of what I want to be able to pass this down to my kids or something. Like, I mean.
But some people are like, I want to pass them down.
Say I hustle for my last name.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Something that you pass on,
right,
for generations.
It's funny that you said that.
But that's where I say that, where some of these people are just like, I just want $100 million now.
You mentioned it earlier when we talked about, to bring everything full circle for this show, you talked about integrity is different for other people. On his IG post, he said he got emotional because he looked up at his kids and said, "Y'all good." Mm-hmm. That's the first thing he said to his kids when he was signing everything over. Y'all straight. You good now.
They was good anyway.
That's what I would have thought. But he says,
but now they good.
The $100 million of the deal is me selling my masters, and I only own half. So I own 50-50 with Universal, and half of my masters is worth $100 million.
So he sold his whole half.
His portion he sold to these people. And then they gave him a stipend for.
So they essentially gave him a stipend, as we're saying, but it seems like it's an invitation to do business on stuff in the future.
Well, see,
of sorts.
His, like Jay Moore was saying, makes sense because he was able to spin it into getting that $200 million on top of $100 million, right, in order to make what his next career move makes sense.
Right.
But me personally, what I'm saying is,
I get 100% what you said.
Yeah.
Is I would still want to have some of that, just because that's kind of, I mean, is history essentially.
True.
But at the same time, his name's attached to it.
It is. So, but like we were just talking about hedge funds.
Right.
Now nobody benefits off of a hedge fund later on down the line because it's all gone.
It's all billionaires and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, Terry, that's a good point. Like, you want to keep it's like the old folks, you say you want to keep something, keep it in the family. You want to keep something in the family, keep it in the family. So a portion of that, I could see one maybe a 25% of it. We want to keep
just
that.
Something like just a something,
But you know, like Jay Moore said earlier, in his mind, he's thinking my kids are 100% straight now for good, and I can get out here to this TV money and do what I got to do. So
yeah, and it's like if he has the right ideas, which you know, Irv stays plotting.
yeah,
And I mean that in a good way.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Shout out to
It's
his brother.
probably killing him, and I don't side with nobody, but 50 is doing very well.
Yeah.
On the TV side.
So when
So
you see what TV money looks like compared to music money, you better go ahead and you better come on in when it comes to this TV.
If you watch the video on IG, he's to Terry's point about wanting to hold on to your legacy. Like he's emotional in his mug as he's, you know, getting ready to sign everything over, because that's blood, sweat, and tears for everything that he put his soul into. So I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's clearly content with the choice.
To say he takes 10 million of this 100 million that he gets and he creates $1 billion IP.
yeah, I mean that's solid.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
It's
like I
investing
said,
on yourself in a way. You know?
yeah,
You know, it's just you know, taking it back to the streets. It's another flip.
it's another flip. So yeah, this one definitely stood out versus Wayne and some of the other ones. And I mean, it makes sense, but I still got questions about this company when they are getting to.
No,
this.
I got because I'm like, you know,
And then they're still performing these songs.
True.
So
Yeah.
like these people that have sold off their catalogs are still out performing them on tour or wherever, award shows. So like, how does that work?
𝗏𝗏𝗄 uses tech to preserve and grow artists' intellectual property and legacy. They statement.
I don't know. I'm sure that's in the clause somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, based upon like future works. I mean, if you're selling your masters and if you're selling masters, you're selling your recordings.
Yep.
Right. So you're selling everything you're recording and everything you're making off of that. I don't know if that is 100% related to performance.
So that means that if
But it
your
is, 'cause he
records
said-
sell
but he
anymore
said-
after you sell your masters, you don't get that money anymore?
I guess it probably depends on the deal, but yeah.
Damn.
well,
From
you
the
know,
outside looking in, they would get everything moving forward.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. They
I
would
mean,
get
and it depends on what kind of deal they had initially, you know, because like remember when Straight Outta Compton came out, you know, and they had to paint a pretty good picture of Eazy-E, even with everything that was going on, because they couldn't clear any of that music from the Ruthless era without Tamika Wright, Eric White, aka
Well, they
Eazy-E.
did a real good job with it.
But if she doesn't sign off on it,
It's not happening.
nothing from the, you know, because she owns Ruthless.
Right.
So, you know, when you look at that story and the narrative that's created, you got to think, okay, well, how much did they have to do to go ahead and clear this music? And when you look at any biopic,
Yeah.
you have to take that into account.
Hey.
Because
All
like
right.
maybe the rights hold, like they can't tell the real story because the rights holder is like, we're not going to put that in. You got to edit that out.
Yeah. Well, they kept it in the family. So
So I guess these people that sold off their catalogs won't be having any biopics anytime soon.
Mm.
They still might have it.
They still might have
They're gonna have to see somebody
money get right on the person that owns the masters.
yeah, they're gonna have to see somebody different though if they want to get the
rights,
songs
you
cleared.
know, publishing, masters, it all, you know.
Stevie, don't sell off your stuff, man. Go ahead and get your bio going.
We need that to be done the right
now,
way, man.
Let's get it. No ill will on Stevie. Let's
Yeah.
keep him around as long as possible.
long as possible.
But
Yeah.
please,
But also,
Do your own
you know, it also
biopic.